Going now. We're live.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Holy copyright takedown. Woo, that was fun.
Welcome to America. Don't steal my shit. I'm kidding.
Yeah, keep us going for another minute or two. I send the links out, Alistair.
Okay, got it. Okay, everybody, look, listen. Do you know what happened? This is what happened. When you play something longer than, I believe, is longer than 2 minutes, 1 minute, YouTube has to take it down because of copyright infringement. It's not a strike yet, but it's just a way to protect intellectual property, even though all we want to do is learn about the criminality of it all. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I shouldn't have let it play that long
It's not
uninterrupted. I actually
we were all mesmerized by the story.
I even thought to myself while it was happening, or while it was playing, like, oh man, I don't know if I can play this whole thing. And then I was like, well, no, we're not monetized. We should be fine. And then, yeah, it happened.
Yeah, it happened. And it happens. You know, it's a hard job that we do, Beefy. We have to really pay attention on everything, especially you over there.
Okay, I'm posting on Beefy Has Anxiety, and all right, let's just continue. People can catch the replay.
People will catch the replay.
Yeah, there's 5 people in here too. I'm sorry, everybody. Our bad. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know what happens during the attacks, where we left off, where I think everybody saw, right, is they have the text, and then they send the welfare check out. The maid ends up going in and getting rid of the dogs because police initially can't make entry because there's these huge German shepherds in what they have like their little kennel. It's like their little main entryway. So they send the maid in, she lets the dogs out, and they're kind of confused because she's not coming back right away. And they're like, that's not good. And all of a sudden they hear her come out screaming, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. So they make their way inside, and they, of course, find the bodies of Nancy, the wife, Chris, and Daniel. And what Chris had done is he had strangled his wife to death. What happened was they got into an altercation, and Chris tied her up and then gagged her with a sock, and then ultimately strangled her to death, and was trapped in the house with her body for what they assumed to be a day to 2 days because the decomposition on his son was lesser than the wife. So he didn't immediately just go to, I've killed my wife, I'm going to go now kill my son. He kind of lived with it for a while. And in fact, other people, friends of Benoit's, when they're texting him about food poisoning or whatever, at one point he even says, like, oh, she's not getting better. She's coughing up blood. With the thought process thinking that he was trying to come up with the excuse as to why she'd be dead. Like, oh, she choked on her own blood and killed her. That's why she's dead. But he ultimately resolves himself to... he gives little Daniel a bunch of Xanax, and when Daniel's unconscious, he ends up strangling his son as well.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you something about... Yes, Katie did it too. Let me tell you something, Beefy. So when I took a lot of notes about this guy because I really wanted to follow a train of thought that I had in my head. When we got to the part where he essentially killed his wife and his son, he's a monster. I don't care how much mental problem he has. I don't care how disturbed, perturbed. I don't give a shit. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a few points here. Number one, he texted people. There's a sense of premeditation. There's a sense of like awareness. Like, oh crap. And number two, before we got cut off, you just telling me he lived with the dead body before his son. What? And number three, listen, because if you see when his friend
Chavo,
he completely went unhinged. In other words, that tells me that his anchor was never really his kid. Forget the wife for a second.
Yeah.
Children was not his anchor. His anchor is his friend. And for someone to put that much importance into your friend and not your kid says something to me. In other words, you were never really in it to begin with, right?
So a lot of speculation has led people to believe that the death of Eddie Guerrero was basically the breaking point for Chris. Like he just couldn't handle being. I mean, people have speculated they were gay lovers or whatever. I don't put any stock to that. I just think they were really good friends, and he considered him like a brother. And what you're saying, I think, is absolutely true. Is that for Chris, he's on the road all the time. He's seeing Eddie, his best friend, more than he's seeing his family. He very much was his anchor, and now he's trying to figure out life without his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And a part we didn't get to, there were other people that died very recently leading up to the murders that also compounded onto this. In fact, there was another wrestling friend. He wasn't in the business anymore. He was out of it. I forget what his name was now, but they would very frequently go. Richie, do you know who I'm talking about? Chris's other friend that died in between the death and Guerrero?
I have to really think back. I can't really recall right now.
It's not Armstrong, is it? The ref?
No.
Well, anyways, they had another wrestling friend who would kind of act as intermediary for their fights. So when they would get into a fight, this friend would come over, he'd calm down Chris, he'd calm down Nancy, he'd talk to Nancy like, he doesn't mean it. So you take that away now, you know what I mean? You take away Chris's best friend, you take away this intermediary who's friends between both of them. And this guy's just completely unhinged, let alone the fact that his brain is falling to pieces, basically turned into mush from all this wrestling stuff. There's a term that I'm going to...
Excuse
Go ahead.
Because his brain is not much enough for him to realize that he killed someone, slept with the body, and then killed his son. Like, the brain mush thing works if you have no idea. Like, this, the level of premeditation it's what negates the brain mushness. Maybe you have the anger. And then when you strangle someone, like a fine, and then you pass out. And then you fall asleep for like a good 3-4 minutes. And then you have to keep holding the neck for quite a long time. If we could kill someone,
a long time.
Yeah. It's a very purposeful act to strangle somebody.
Yeah, like you really.
Plus, he tried to cover it up by trying to be like, oh, she's got food poisoning, so he had enough. What's the word?
He even put a knife. He put a knife under his son's bed. So that way, even after death, there was still speculation that it could have been somebody else. And beside the fact, he kills his wife. I can't understand it or sympathize with it, but to a certain extent, like, okay, I guess maybe I can understand it as much as I can't sympathize with it or explain it. I can understand with his brain having a bunch of holes in it and having these crazy outbursts from the steroids. I can kind of understand how he would get so angry he would kill his wife. But killing his son, how do you get around that? Like, there were days after that he's calmed down. That's not a fleeting impulse decision. You know what I mean? He had to sit, like you said, that's premeditated at that point.
Yeah.
And there's a sentence that as we discuss this, it's very polarizing. Like, people, when I started the story, I said that there's been lots of controversy, not just about the attacks and what led up to them, but also how Chris Benoit is remembered in the wake of the attacks. And there's something that I tell myself in a lot of these cases where mental health is a problem, because it used to be my mindset. I empathize with people who struggle with mental health so much that it almost gives them a pass. Like, oh, it's not their fault they had to deal with X, or, oh, it's not their fault they had trauma in their past. But ultimately, mental health is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Like, it's not his fault that he had
that's amazing.
It's not his fault that he had a bunch of holes in his brain, or that he was going crazy, or that he basically had the brain capacity of an old person with Alzheimer's. That wasn't his fault, but he did have a responsibility to deal with that brain damage once he had it.
Yeah.
So he is at fault.
Yeah. It drives me insane. Like, I can't really sit here and say when people were like, oh, he lost Eddie, and kind of like you said, Alistair, it's like you like have a wife and kids. Like, I look at my wife and kids and I can't imagine being like, okay, well, but my friend. It's just like, I cannot sit here and separate what he did from his like in-ring ability. Like, I don't understand how you can sit here and say BS and hate me if you want, but about the Hall of Fame shit. It's like, who in their right mind is going to get up there and be like, yeah, Crispin Wall, Hall of... No, like...
So what Richie is referring to is in the wake of all this, they've removed Chris Benoit's likeness in all of his matches from the WWE network, and they've like basically publicly stated that he'll never be in the WWE Hall of Fame. And there's a lot of people that think that they should put him in the Hall of Fame because he's had such an incredible career. And so that's another facet of the debate surrounding his career in the wake of his murders.
Yeah. No, I agree. He should be completely wiped out. And you know, I hate to sound like a broken record, but consequences. You know, when you high up, when you stop rising, and when you become, I don't know, somebody, anything, or at least if someone looks up to you, anybody, it could be the person next door. Your actions have so much more weight, and you need to be careful what you do, because one mistake affects the ripples is absolutely huge. So if you do a mistake like this guy did, no, you should be completely wiped out, because who knows, maybe that young kid who might not know you for the murder that you did might be like, oh, look at that, I got holes in my brain, but Chris Benoit managed to do it good enough, so therefore I'm going to, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how, like, you don't know who's going to look up to you, and for the sake of the betterment of society, you need to be completely, maybe not buried, but put away in a special box, so people who really want to know where you can go.
I was going to say, we have some comments here I just wanted to read. Oh, Lord, that's particularly disturbing when unalivers live with the corpses. There's disconnection with reality. Yeah, the living with the bodies thing really gets me, too.
Right? How you go to bed? Wake up in the morning and make breakfast.
Yeah.
Good morning. Oh, wait. All right. Right. Or do you want some eggs? Oh, wait.
Yeah, only need to make breakfast for 2 this morning.
Oh, not today. Or like, even when when you walk down the hallway, your girlfriend or spouse is there, and you're like, hello, good morning. Like, you just see a body on the bed. Like, oh, right, she's dead. All right, okay, I'll just go to the fridge and get myself some milk. Like, it's just, you're right. It's disturbing.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
Was his attachment disorder due to drug intake or childhood or both?
You make a very good point there, Katie. Katie did it too. Katie, you make a good point, because, yeah, what kind of attachment disorder is that? To be
From all reports, he had a pretty healthy childhood.
Actually, yeah, he did. But wait. He went to that legacy of he went to that great school, where people get overworked to death.
Yeah, maybe.
Great school. So maybe over there, because
I think that's a stretch. It's like kind of a timely joke, but
maybe everyone goes through hard times in pro wrestling training,
Yeah,
like everyone goes through hard times in wrestling training, but
you see, because he's a soft, gentle soul, but they told him, "Shut up, man, don't cry." And now he's, he had to learn to be a tough guy. And then he met this guy on the road who's like, "It's okay, you could cry on my shoulder." Oh, thank you. I'm being such an idiot. And then, that guy died, and now he doesn't want to be with his wife.
Yeah, Jonesy brings up a good point here. The one person who was able to see the flags was gone. No one else let things go until it's too late. Yeah. So when Eddie Guerrero is gone, he probably would have seen, like, what's going on, man? Like, talk to me. Red flags, missed and dismissed.
Oh, yeah.
It says 100% beefy. Adults need to own and take responsibility for their mental health illness rather than working out on everyone else.
Yeah. For the final thought today, I had something. It's going to change based on this thing, based on the fact that the murder was premeditated, based on the fact of the red flags that Katie said. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell anybody who would listen what you do if you find yourself in a situation when someone is threatening, even if it's for a little bit.
All right, well, we don't have much left here. WWE would cancel Raw that night instead of choosing, similar to Guerrero, they would air a 3-hour tribute show dedicated to him. During this tribute, fellow wrestler William Regal appears to be withholding his sentiments, and he comes across as very cold. I was going to play a clip, but I don't even want to risk getting taken down again. So in the clip, he just basically says, like, in the ring, he was a great performer, but at this time, that's all I'm comfortable or willing to say. And come to find out afterwards that wrestler had actually lived in Fayetteville and had already heard rumblings about what exactly had happened in the house. I mean, you got to figure WWE, they had those texts of, my house, this is my exact address, the dogs are out front. So they had to have had some inclination. If you're being attacked or whatever, you don't have the ability to send out a text like that. Why would you not just call out for help? You know what I mean? Like, if it was another person, how would he have texted somebody, this is my address, the dogs are outside? You know what I mean? So I think it was pretty foolish of them to do the tribute without even looking into it more. I mean, I don't know. I guess what do you do in that situation? But it definitely looks bad in hindsight that they tributed a murderer.
Yeah.
Little by little, as the details start coming out, WWE starts pulling back more and more, acting more in self-defense. The company often takes the standpoint of cold indifference to Benoit as of late. As I mentioned, all of his matches and his promos, everything has just been wiped clean from the WWE network and everything. You can't find anything with Benoit tied officially to WWE. And as we discussed, they flat out refused to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Popular opinion seems to lead many to believe that the toll wrestling took on Benoit was what made him snap. But, as we discussed, we're here to refute that. I have no doubt that Benoit probably suffered many concussions over his career. The finisher of the flying headbutt, for Christ's sakes, he probably had more concussions than he could count. But, like I said, mental health is not our fault, but it is our responsibility. Benoit never sought treatment for these issues. He didn't go to couples counseling. He didn't go to anger management. I don't think WWE is responsible for that. I think they're partly to blame because up until Benoit passed, it was a very toxic work environment. Yeah. Things have changed a lot nowadays. In fact, it was very much inspired of this death of Benoit doing what he did that started the wellness program in WWE. They can't do stuff now like chair shots to the head, something that Benoit was literally known for. They're no longer allowed if you're under concussive protocol. They won't even let you wrestle. This is something that actually ended the career of Daniel Bryan. He had to force and retire in 2016. He's wrestling now again, but they forced him to retire in the wake of this concussive protocol. They probably could have saved his life because he wasn't ready to wrestle at that point. When Benoit's brain was studied, head of neurosurgery at West Virginia University said that Benoit's brain was so severely damaged, it resembled the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Wow. Furthermore, he states that Benoit had an advanced form of dementia similar to the brains of retired NFL players who had to retire due to multiple concussions, all of which reported heavy bouts of depression and even mania. When looked side by side with a clear brain to Benoit's, it's clear that Benoit's brain is just fucking full of holes caused by several concussions. And although it may have played a factor, it again is no excuse for why Chris Benoit would murder his children, his wife, and himself. And I'll say it just one last time as we wrap up. Mental illness, it was not his fault, but it was his responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility. Look at those holes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way this guy could be rational. Even if you beg for your life, he's not even look at those holes. There's no rationality behind that.
Yeah.
What a disaster. Listen, also something I want to point out, the wife that he the wife that he murdered, he never loved her, never liked her. I'll tell you why, because this is the wife that he had an on-camera romance for, and he was not even interested in doing that whole romance play. They just happened to be in the same hotel room, just happened to be having sex and not use a condom, really. And she got pregnant.
Yeah, so, I think you're right.
Like, oh, great. I don't even like her, but all right, fine. Oh, she's pregnant. All right, I'll marry her. Oh, yeah. Look, she's complaining. What does she want? Oh my God, can I go on the road? Guerrero, where are you? Where are we going? Where are we going today?
Katie brings up a good point. There's a huge gray area for who or what was responsible for these things. I mean, ultimately, Benoit, he's responsible, but there's so many extenuating circumstances that got him to that place. It's really hard to say for certain that it was one thing in particular. It was again a very special set of circumstances that led to what happened on that day.
That's why the wrestling people, they kept quiet, because they know they're responsible. They know they're responsible.
Yeah. they're doing everything they can to distance themselves, and they got really held to the coals when some of this research came out. They were trying to paint WWE in a really bad light, and they do everything they can to throw their hands up. And to be fair, they've taken some accountability. Like, they've put together this wellness program. They're better. They still have a long way to go, but like,
it's a lawyer who told him to do that.
yeah. Give your fucking wrestlers health insurance, WWE. Like, what the fuck?
Well, because they're not technically employees. That's why.
Yeah, stupid.
If you change the narrative, then if they become employees, then it's a different game.
Yeah, I think we might have lost Richie.
I think we lost Richie, but that's how companies go around giving you proper adequate coverage. Yeah, they say, "Oh, you're just a contractor." Okay, I'm a little bit guilty of that, but I take care of my people. Yeah. Oh my god.
Thoughts, Richie? You've been pretty quiet. Thoughts about this whole thing?
Yes.
Sorry about that. So my phone was going crazy. Like, I actually had to disconnect and reconnect. Yeah. So
That's cool.
like I said, I don't agree with the whole. Oh, it wasn't his fault. Like I said, I agree with you, BP. Mental illness isn't your fault. It's your responsibility. Speaking of being like cognizant or whatever, like, he did that to his wife. She sat there for a couple days. Then he decided, well, fuck, it's over. So might as well get my son and myself. So that's a pretty, I don't know. Like I said, like, I feel very strongly that I cannot separate what he did to his career. So no, it brought up how I felt then. Like, whenever you said the thing about the sock, like,
Yeah.
I know doing what he did is brutal, but it's like what he did after as well is just like, I don't know. I can't get past it.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Again, I can't excuse it, but I can almost understand the death of his wife, but the death of his son is unforgivable.
Yeah.
There's really no excuse for it at that point.
No.
I don't understand people who harm kids in general.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Like, I actually got into an argument with someone on a TikTok live the other day where he was saying all this thing about Hall of Fame. I'm like, no, who's going to do that? He's like, well, you do it silently. I was like, well, what's the point? Like, what's the point of that? Like, you want him in there so bad that you're willing to, I don't know, like, it drives me insane. Like, I don't agree when anyone says, oh, well, this and that, like, his friend, like I said, as a husband and a father, like, they're first. Like, I've had friends that have passed away tragically, and it messed me up, but I still have a family to take care of. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, responsibility.
Then I don't want to make this too much about myself, but having a past with certain stuff, it's like I've never imagined, no matter how messed up I've got, to get myself to that place to do something like what he did. Never.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a special kind of brain, right?
Right.
To be able to get yourself to that low, because it's not even you're not even killing a stranger. You kill
One like this,
right?
No.
One that looks like Swiss cheese.
BP so shady. Yes, a Swiss cheese brain. Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of holes in that brain. I have to say, I've seen brains. That's a lot of holes in that brain, and this is just a little snippet. If you look at the full picture, I'm surprised he even remembered. Yeah, he had memory loss, right? Oh,
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's paranoid, depression, like basically all mental health. Go to the mental health disease box. He just like checked all of them off. All of the above.
With a brain like that, honestly, there's no remedy. There's no remedy.
Yeah.
No therapy. You're beyond therapy. You're like,
he would need extensive, like full-time inpatient treatment.
Because he's big and strong. It's not like I'll come over and give you dinner. No, honey. Are you chained yet? Here's your food. He needs a psych ward.
Well, Alistair, you mentioned that you had a final thought for it.
I thought it was going to be very corny. No, it wasn't going to be corny.
The final thought.
Sorry for not making you finish playing the thing. Beefy. Anyway, no. The original Final Thought was gonna be very different with this one. Let me give you guys whoever, and for men and women as well. Let me tell you what happens or what you should do if you find yourself in a situation where who is this that I'm talking to? If this is getting very threatening and whatnot. Number one is anyone who uses the language, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to put my hands on you, and even as a joke, red flag. Love does not intimidate, love does not hurt, love doesn't do any of that. Even if someone is in a depressive state, they might maybe say a word that is you know, maybe highfalutin, but
highfalutin, I like that.
yeah, but not at any point, should someone make you feel like you are second guessing your safety. Because I got news for you. If they are willing to say that and make you feel like that, that means they're not that far from actually acting on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
Because
true.
we've all said like, oh my god, I I'm gonna KIL this person, maybe as a joke, but not in front of the person themselves. If someone is willing to tell you in front of your face, that means they're already too comfortable with the idea. Red flag. Kids, stop planning right away. Forget about love. Oh my god, I love him. No, because he doesn't love you back. Clearly, because he said that. Oh my god, father of my child. No, you start preparing the crumbs and you start loving from afar, because that's not okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Katie, corny.
Well said.
Yeah. Oh my god. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Okay, look, let me tell you another secret.
Does it happen a lot?
It happens a lot. Let me tell you another secret. And look, women, please don't throw tomatoes. I dodge them all. But let me just educate you something. Let me educate you something biologically here. The reason why, and it's not your fault, women have a lot more receptors of oxytocin and serotonin and all that stuff, and they have to because childbearing and all that stuff. So when a woman falls in love, she falls in love hard. Do you understand? But when she falls out of love, she falls out of love hard. It's easier for men to detach emotionally. It's harder for women. So there's a biological component that makes it harder for you to leave. It's not your fault. You're just programmed like that. So you have to find a support system, someone like me, to come and be like, come here, bitch. Let's get the F out of here. What are you doing? You need someone to be in your face to tell you no, because it will be extra harder for you to walk away. And it's not even your fault. But yeah. Secret unveiled.
So wait a minute though. Whose fault is it?
In terms of what? Oh, no, it's like it's not your fault for you having a hard time to leave.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. It's not their fault. Okay, yeah.
You just have a lot more serotonin, so you bond easy. Women bond easy, and they have to biologically because of the child rearing. They need to bond easy, So it's harder for women to discard people. It's not as easy. Men, it's easy for us. We don't. It happens, but it happens with a lot more work. Women is a biological help that allows them to connect faster, connect harder. So it's difficult for women to disconnect.
I have heard that too. That women.
That's why women don't do. They don't do a good job at. Don't throw tomatoes, but at friends with benefits. Just a matter of time. If you do friends with benefits, close your eyes. Don't look at them in the eyes. Be like, okay, hurry up, because it's just a matter of time. The hormones will get you more glued to the person, and over time, you'll fall in love. Yeah, but it's true. But wait, beware of absolute. Like my teacher always said, beware of absolute. There are always outliers. So not all women are like that, but the majority. It's true. Beware of absolute. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Look, it's late.
You hush, Alistair. Get him. Tomato. Tomato, 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 tomato. You're doing the
Yes.
the Dracula laugh.
Final thought takes the cake right there. That's a good final thought, sir.
Applause.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. It's been a fun one. Sorry for all the technical issues and getting the stream stopped and whatever. Richie, thanks so much for coming on this week.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love talking about wrestling. I love talking to you guys. So anytime, always down.
Make sure to check out Richie's TikTok. It's just at Richie Adams.
Got plenty of trial content for you, and I've been doing more voiceover stuff. So I'm trying to work on getting more of that, of my content, instead of just posting clips. So
Nice. Yeah, inject yourself in there. People want to hear from you. But is that the handle, Richie Adams?
yeah. Just type in Richie Adams, and I'm the only guy that's a pro wrestler doing trial content. So
awesome. And when do you get back in the ring again?
Sometime early 2024 for sure. I will definitely be posting in the Discord and on social media about it. But no date set yet. But I know 2024. I'm going to start my path to see where I'm at physically and all that. So
yeah, we definitely want to check out your wrestling stuff when that premieres. So be sure to let us know.
Will do.
All right, guys. Hope you have a great week. Thanks so much for coming. Sorry for the crap again, and we love you. Alistair, will you take us home, sir?
I would take you home, sir. Okay,
take
guys.
Me home tonight. Sorry.
Don't get a second copyright. I think that's a song, right?
Yeah.
Don't give us a second copyright, Beefy. Look at those teeth, Beefy. Look at that.
Yes, they need to be brushed.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Without you, there's no us. Oh my God. I'll let you another secret. One more secret. My daughter finally felt better yesterday. Oh, hallelujah.
Nice. Congrats.
Well,
go give her a kiss on the head.
I will. Thank you so much for watching Replay Crew. Thank you, Tom. Please like, subscribe, and I see you next time.
Bye guys.
See you guys.
Love you.
Thank you.
End transmission.
Thank you for watching.